It's been a frustrating start to the season for Bears fans, especially when it comes to seeing their top draft picks get involved. But now, heading into a high-profile Monday Night Football showdown against the Commanders, all eyes are on tight end Colston Lovelin, who might finally be ready to show why he was taken with the 10th overall pick. After missing Week 4 with a hip injury, the rookie is healthy and, according to him, eager to get back on the field. He spoke with the media this week and made it clear that he's put the injury behind him and feels ready to contribute. That's big news for a Bears offense that has lacked consistency and is still trying to find its identity. Lovelin's absence in Week 4 came at a time when it seemed like the coaching staff was finally starting to figure out how to get him more involved. If you go back to the Dallas game, you could see from the first drive that the Bears were trying to script touches for him. There was a clear intent to use him in the passing game, but misfires from quarterback Caleb Williams, including a missed throw and what looked like a route miscommunication, kept Lovelin from making an early impact. That momentum got stalled further when he had to sit out due to injury. But now, with his return, there's renewed hope that this is the week we finally see a breakout performance. There's no doubt Lovelin has the talent. You don't spend a top 10 pick on a tight end unless he has game-changing ability. And even though the stat sheet might not show it yet, the potential is there. He's got the physical tools, the route running, and the athleticism to be a nightmare matchup for defenses. What he needs now is opportunity, and with his health no longer a concern, that opportunity might finally be coming on Monday night. The matchup against Washington could be the perfect storm. Through 5 weeks, the Commanders are middle of the pack when it comes to defending tight ends, ranked 16th in the league. They've given up over 300 yards and a pair of touchdowns to the position. And more importantly, they've allowed some big plays. In Week 2, Tucker Kraft absolutely lit them up, averaging nearly 15 yards per catch. That's a number that should excite Bears fans hoping to see Lovelin get vertical and make something happen after the catch. One key detail that works in Lovelin's favor is how Washington's linebackers play. Bobby Wagner, though still one of the most respected names in the league, just isn't the same player in coverage anymore. He's much more effective when playing downhill, attacking the run, or blitzing the quarterback. Same goes for Frankie Lavu, who brings great energy and speed, but again prefers to play in the backfield rather than drop back and cover athletic tight ends in space. That could create some major openings in the middle of the field, especially if the Bears can scheme up ways to isolate Lovelin in those matchups. And when it comes to Washington's secondary, there's not a ton of intimidation there either. The one potential matchup to watch is with Mike Sainristil, a former teammate of Lovelin who now plays mostly in the nickel. Due to injuries and underperformance on the outside, Sainristil has had to move around quite a bit this season, even stepping in at corner. He's physical and smart, but he's not the type of player you expect to completely neutralize a top-tier tight end. And that's the thing. For as much as we've talked about who's going to cover Lovelin, the reality is that most defenses don't have anyone who can match up with him one-on-one. That's part of what made him such an intriguing draft prospect to begin with. So the stage is set. It's prime time. The spotlight is on. And if there's ever a time for Colston Lovelin to make his arrival known to the league, this is it. We've seen glimpses of what he can do. Now, Bears fans are hoping for more than glimpses. They want production. They want impact. And frankly, they need it. This offense has been too inconsistent, too reliant on a handful of guys, and Lovelin's return could bring a new dynamic to the unit. If Caleb Williams can get in rhythm, and if the offensive line can hold up just enough to give him time, the connection between the rookie quarterback and the rookie tight end could finally start to take off. But let's not pretend it's all on Lovelin's shoulders. This game will also be a test for the Bears' discipline and ability to play clean football, something that has been a major issue through the first month of the season. The penalties have been piling up, and it's not just about volume, it's about timing. The Bears are currently 28th in the NFL in penalties per game and 27th in penalty yards. On average, they're giving away nearly 70 yards per game flags. That's an entire scoring drive, just handed to the opponent every week. Week 1 against Minnesota was a prime example. The Bears jumped out to a 7-0 lead, had a chance to take control early, and then completely shot themselves in the foot with multiple pre-snap penalties that killed drives. 12 flags for over 120 yards. That's not just sloppy, that's game-altering. And while it's true that things have cleaned up a bit since then, there's still far too many mental mistakes, especially at the line of scrimmage. Whether it's false starts, illegal formations, or delays of game, the Bears continue to hurt themselves at critical moments. Now here's where it gets even more concerning. For this Monday night matchup, the NFL has assigned the Bears to the most flag-happy officiating crew in the entire league. Led by referee Alex Moore, this crew has thrown a staggering 117 flags through just 5 weeks. That's not a typo. 117. That's 13 more than the next most penalizing crew in the league. This is Moore's first season as a head referee after spending 3 years as an umpire, and it seems like he's trying to make his presence felt. That's a problem. Not just because the Bears are already struggling with penalties, but because this particular crew is not going to let anything slide. They're going to call the ticky-tack stuff. They're going to throw flags for borderline contact. And if the Bears don't clean things up fast, this could turn into another flag fest and a very frustrating night for fans watching at home. So, what does that mean for the team? It means every detail matters. Every block, every motion, every substitution, it all has to be clean. There's no margin for error with this crew. And for a young offense that is still trying to find its rhythm, this could be an added challenge they just don't need. The last thing you want when trying to build momentum is to constantly be walking backwards because of avoidable penalties. It also puts pressure on the coaching staff to emphasize fundamentals all week long. There's no excuse for coming out of the bye and still making basic mental errors. And with the season already teetering on the edge, this game could be a turning point, one way or another. Either the Bears come out sharp, disciplined, and ready to put together a complete game, or they let the same mistakes that have haunted them all year continue to hold them back. And that's why this game isn't just about Lovelin's breakout potential. It's about proving that this team can grow, can learn, and can respond to adversity. The injuries, the inconsistency, the penalty issues, those are all real, but they don't have to define the season. What matters now is what they do next. And with a national audience watching on Monday Night Football, this is the perfect opportunity for the Bears to change the narrative. While the spotlight on Monday night will rightfully be on Colston Lovelin and his potential breakout performance, the broader picture for the Bears extends far beyond one player. This is a team that has to prove it can operate with consistency, discipline, and a level of execution that matches its talent. Through the first few weeks of the season, we've seen flashes of what this roster is capable of. There have been stretches of strong offensive drives, moments of defensive pressure, and individual performances that suggest there's something to build on. But the frustrating reality is that none of it has come together for a complete 4-quarter game. That's what this Monday night clash against Washington needs to be. Not just another chance to test some matchups or see incremental progress. It has to be a statement. Because if this team has any plans of being relevant in the playoff conversation as the season progresses, it starts by handling business in winnable games like this one. And yes, it is a winnable game. Washington has been shaky all season. Their defense, while aggressive, gives up big plays. Their offense, though explosive at times, is turnover-prone. This is not an elite team, but it's a team that can punish you if you beat yourself, something the Bears have done all too often. Let's go back to the issue of penalties. It's not just the number of penalties, it's the type. Pre-snap infractions like false starts and illegal shifts signal a lack of focus and preparation. Those are coaching and concentration issues. Then you have the unnecessary roughness calls, the illegal hands to the face, the late hits. These are about discipline and emotional control. They come when players are trying to do too much or losing their composure in key moments. That's what the Bears have to clean up if they want to have any shot at turning the season around. When you look at the offensive side of the ball, there's reason for optimism, but also room for urgency. Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick, has shown poise beyond his years in many situations. But like any rookie quarterback, he's going to need help around him to succeed. That means the offensive line has to protect better, the run game has to be reliable, and the play calling has to stay aggressive but smart. Most importantly, the receiving targets need to deliver, and that includes Lovelin, who is being counted on as not just a safety valve, but a true weapon in the passing game. There's also the need for more from the wide receivers. Rome Odunze has been a bright spot, making big plays and establishing chemistry with Caleb early in the season. But beyond him, the rest of the receiving core has been inconsistent. Drops, route miscommunications, and lack of separation have all been issues. If Lovelin can return and demand attention over the middle, that should theoretically open up more opportunities for the wideouts on the outside. This is where a true offensive identity starts to form. When all levels of the field are being attacked and defenses can't just key in on one or two players. Defensively, the Bears have shown some grit, but they've been too inconsistent in critical situations. The pass rush has moments where it looks legitimate, but then stretches where the quarterback has all day in the pocket. The secondary has playmakers, but there have been blown coverages and missed assignments that lead to backbreaking plays. And again, penalties have made it harder on this unit, especially on third downs. Whether it's defensive holding, illegal contact, or roughing the passer, too many drives have been extended by self-inflicted wounds. One element to watch closely in this matchup is how the Bears handle Washington's quick passing game. Sam Howell, while not a star, has shown he can hurt teams when he's in rhythm and gets the ball out quickly. That means the Bears' defensive line needs to get penetration fast, and the linebackers and defensive backs have to be sharp in their reads and quick in their reactions. Communication is going to be huge, especially with the way Washington likes to use motion and misdirection to create confusion. And while we're on the topic of communication, let's talk about coaching. The staff is under pressure. When a team has the level of talent that Chicago does, especially with high draft picks all over the roster, the expectation is that you'll see results sooner than later. It's not enough to say we're young or we're learning when you're also racking up penalties, burning timeouts early in halves, and struggling with situational awareness. These are all signs that the coaching needs to sharpen up just as much as the players do. Game management, in particular, has to improve. There have been a few close losses this season where poor clock management, conservative play calling in key moments, or failure to adjust in the second half have directly contributed to defeats. That can't continue. Not in the NFL, where the margin between winning and losing is razor thin. Every detail matters. Every timeout, every challenge flag, every play call in the red zone. And when you're going up against a team like Washington, who will give you opportunities if you're disciplined enough to capitalize, you absolutely have to take advantage. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL rumor mill is buzzing this morning after reports emerged that the Chicago Bears have reportedly finalized a blockbuster trade with the Cleveland Browns, landing star defensive end Myles Garrett. While official confirmations for both teams are still awaited, multiple insiders suggest that this move could dramatically reshape the Bears' defense and signal a new era in Chicago. Garrett, known for his relentless pass rushing and game-changing ability, has been linked to trade speculation for months, but few expected the Bears to be the frontrunners. Sources close to the negotiation say the deal came together quickly, catching many fans and analysts off guard. The Browns, always careful with their assets, appear to have leveraged Garrett's market value to secure future draft capital, though the exact details remain under wraps. For Chicago, acquiring Garrett is more than just a defensive upgrade. It's a statement. The Bears have struggled in recent seasons to consistently pressure opposing quarterbacks, and Garrett's presence could turn a once middling pass rush into one of the league's most feared. Teammates and coaches alike are reportedly ecstatic at the prospect of working alongside a player of Garrett's caliber, hinting at a morale boost that could extend beyond the field. As with all major NFL trades, questions linger. How will Garrett adjust to the Bears scheme? What does this mean for the locker room dynamic? And most importantly, what did Chicago give up to secure this deal? Rumors suggest a mix of draft picks and young talent might have changed hands, but insiders remain tight-lipped. The Browns, meanwhile, are believed to be eyeing a rebuild or at least a strategic reshuffle, aiming to extract maximum value from the move. Fans are already taking to social media to speculate, with some calling it a franchise-defining acquisition and others questioning the long-term impact. One thing is clear. If confirmed, this trade has the potential to send shockwaves through the NFC North and reshape the league's defensive landscape. As the story develops, all eyes will be on Chicago to see if the Bears can turn buzz into dominance with Myles Garrett leading the charge. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.